The marvellous thing, of course, is that we come to you from all over the world. So many consuls general, representative of consulates, representatives of chambers of commerce. And the thing that we all have in common is that we're adventurers, that we are curious. And this, of course, is what drives us all to belong to the foreign services of our countries. I've been in Hong Kong for 2.5 years, and I have explored every inch of Hong Kong. The reason I've explored every inch of Hong Kong is because all of those things which usually are available to you as a foreigner living in Hong Kong have not really been available, and that is the ability to hop on an aeroplane and go to see Vietnam, to hop on an aeroplane and go to Japan, to hop on a fast train and go into China for the weekend. None of that's been available. And so one day, quite early on in my tenure, I was with my husband at Fan Ling, and we looked across, and there it was, Shenzhen. There's something that I've got to tell you about Australians. It's peculiar to us, and perhaps the New Zealanders who I know are also here, and that is we're absolutely tantalised as people who live on islands with land boundaries and land borders. We stare at those things and we find them very fascinating. And here was a boundary that could not be surpassed for this time due to the global pandemic. It was a great challenge. It was a challenging time for us all. And we're all so pleased now to have this opportunity. So when the Commissioner spoke to me and said, I'm putting together this plan, would you be available to come along? I was the first one to say, I probably wasn't the first, I thought I was the first, to say absolutely yes. I'm curious. I've never been to Shenzhen, I've never been to Dongguan, I've never been to Guangzhou. I'm curious. I want to see what that looks like. And so here we are in Guangdong province. 11% of Australia's merchandise trade comes into Guangdong province annually. That's about 68 billion yuan last year, just into this province alone. The people-to-people links between Australia and the people of Guangdong province, of course, are rich. The first contacts between Australia and China were from southern China. This area and into Hong Kong, of course. We have a sister city, a sister state relationship with New South Wales and this province, with Queensland as well, a sister city relationship between Sydney and Guangzhou, Brisbane and Shenzhen, the Gold Coast and Zhuhai. So these are all places that are things that I've heard so much about and yet have not been able to really investigate. And so I jumped at the opportunity. And thank you so much, Commissioner, to you and your team for putting in place such fabulous arrangements for us all. We're much appreciative. Of course, you have to be hard of hearing if you're in Hong Kong and you haven't heard of the GBA. Everyone talks about it. The Hong Kong government is very, very good at promoting this idea, this vision. And I come on this trip and into Shenzhen today with a lot of questions. Southern China, of course, has been so incredibly successful. We all have seen this, we all know this, we all read about it constantly. So for me, this trip is about answering questions, things that are talked about so often in Hong Kong, and yet for me are questions in my mind. How does the GB, how does this vision actually work in practice? This idea of bringing together provinces and regions, how does this act as a force multiplier? What are the shared regulatory arrangements that are envisaged for this place that augment the value of already successful areas? What does it mean for foreigners? What does it mean for foreign businesses? What's the vision about how we as foreigners may be able to move seamlessly across borders in a way that we know that Hong Kongers are able to do, and we know that people in China are able to do? How are we able to move beyond this moment, to use this moment of great and profound difficulty of COVID to see that actually the value of business is greatly enhanced if people can move? And what does this mean for a place that I'm spending all of my time in, Hong Kong? How do you make the most of a one country, two systems proposition in this particular environment? These are all things I'm really looking forward to talking to people about, scrutinising, so I can go back and talk to Australian businesses who are all very interested in what I'm going to learn this week. Once again, thank you very much for this opportunity. I look forward to learning. I'm listening very hard, and again, my thanks to the Commissioner's Office for this opportunity. Bye.